guys, today we're talking about how to find the right real estate agent.
Awesome. Hey, welcome back, guys. It's Cole and Kelly with the Bridge Group. Obviously, if you're in the Houston area, we're going to make this a very short video. We're right here. This is how to find the right agent. If you're outside of the Houston area, we definitely want to bring you some good points. And we had a very specific phone call this week that really kind of put this video on the radar for us, and we wanted to share with you what we got from that.
Absolutely, and we're also going through a book with our agents about hiring agents, and one of the chapters is called Finding the Right Agent. Didn't Aunt Louise just get licensed?
Yeah.
And so that's a lot of times people say, I need to sell my house, I need to buy a house, who do I know? Well, a lot of times it's family members who've just gotten their license, and although this may be an easy option at the beginning, it may not be the best option for you in order to get the most money for your property. So step number one is going to be to do your due diligence. So making sure that you really research who this agent is, understanding their experience, understanding their motivations, and really just understanding how much they've been in this particular market and what their experience is.
Yeah, one of the things that we always like to point out is that Texas does have one of the most strenuous certification processes to be a real estate agent. That being said, it's not a whole lot.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, we have about 47,000 agents in the Houston area, and I say agents loosely, licensed realtors walking around, and they probably do on average around 3 to 6 transactions a year.
Mm-hmm.
And I always say this to all of our sellers. I don't know about you, but whenever we have so much equity in our houses, whenever there's so much money that could be left on the table, you don't want to do it with someone that has very minimal experience in negotiating not only the price of the house, appraising the value of the house, but also fighting with the appraisers and negotiating those repair requests.
It could be very costly for you, one
Absolutely.
way or the other.
Yeah.
And so one of the things is that in terms of doing your due diligence, when you hire a new doctor, say you move into a new town, you're going to get a lot of referrals. You're going to really make sure that you know their experience and their background, their education.
Nurseries,
anything.
dentists,
Yeah, absolutely. So this should be the same for a realtor. So in terms of doing your due diligence, one of the things that when you talk to someone, you want to really understand their motivation as well, because a lot of times, unfortunately, in any industry, some people are in it just for the money. And so for us, you really want to make sure that you're in it, you get the best interest of your clients in hand.
Absolutely, yeah, and I always tell our sellers and our buyers that we get to work with this is that, if it was about the money, I think we would have been out of this a few hundred transactions ago. This is a very difficult and strenuous job, and there is no hours. It's 7 days a week, 24/7, but at the same time, Kelly and I are the most competitive people. Y'all have heard this many times before. Don't ever play Monopoly with Kelly. Don't ever play Uno with Kelly. But at the same time, the thing is that we are that competitive with our clients' properties, just as if it was our own transaction. If we're selling someone's house, it's like we're selling our own. If we're helping someone purchase, we want to make sure that it would be a deal that we would want to accept. And it'd be a property that we'd want to purchase because in 4 or 5 years, we know that we're going to try to sell it again. So just like most of our clients.
And you want to make sure that this person can actually tell you the actual true numbers of your property, tell you things that you may not want to hear. Because a lot of times agents will just come and say, I'll list it whatever you want and just as is, where we're going to say, this is what the numbers are saying, and these are the things that you have to do to your house to get it ready for market. Whether or not you do it, I can't determine that, but at least I have told you the truth and what it is.
And we've lost several deals in the past because we didn't list the property for what the seller wanted to list it for. But ultimately, we got it back because it didn't sell for that 3 to 6 months. And then we got it back and we're able to sell it for a market high as far as comps are concerned. We are willing to lose deals because we are willing to tell our clients the truth rather than getting our sign in another yard.
Number 2 is referrals and references. So the first place that you typically want to start is by asking your friends and family what agent that they've used in that area. And ask them, all these questions that we're about to give you to ask an agent, ask that person and say, did they really do a great job?
Yeah, how was their experience? Yeah.
That's the most important thing. Now, if you don't have any references, then definitely ask for referrals from that agent and call at least 3 or 4 of their past clients and make sure that they had a great experience.
Yeah, now, and we just dealt with this one on, I was fixing to name the street, but, we just took over the listing from the previous agent because the previous agent wasn't even an agent in the state of Texas. So they were,
That's not
and so no wonder they weren't selling, and no
Yeah.
wonder that this gentleman's investment was sitting on the market for so long. Nick, our agent, took it over and has got it under contract. So because he's local, he knows the area, he knows what goes into it, he sold a house on the street right in front of it the day before.
Yeah.
So we're local, we know the area, and you want an agent that isn't an hour down the road. You want someone that is local and that knows the school district's tax rates and everything above, right?
Absolutely. Step 3 is to actually interview the agent and really dig deep. We've been to many appointments where our clients have, 10 questions, 15 questions to ask us, and we're always willing to answer them.
They usually have an outline of questions,
Yeah.
but as we go through the presentation,
True.
we typically answer all of those questions that they have written out.
We have a couple that we have referenced here. Obviously, you can ask them some of the general questions about their experience and things like that, but these dig a little bit deeper. And specifically, this one's for buyers. If you're looking for a buyer's agent, asking what makes you good at what you do. I think that that's really important because anybody can open a door, but what makes you good at negotiating and getting the best deal for your clients? Number 2 would be how will you negotiate if there's more than one offer? And in this market right now, we're seeing so many offers, multiple offer
6,
situations.
7, 21, yeah.
And so you want to find out what is their specific strategy to make sure that we have the best foot forward.
Do they have a strategy?
Right. And also, how do I know that I'm not going to overpay for the property? Because at the end of the day, we've seen plenty of offers come in knowing that, you know what, that's probably overpaying. I would not advise my client to do that, but we're going to make sure that we go through all the numbers with you. And then last would be, how can I personalize my offer if there's a multiple bidding situation? So just kind of really making sure that they have their best foot forward when it comes to buying.
Yeah, absolutely. Sebastian, big shout out to our Sebastian. Congratulations, Sebastian and Suba, for closing this week. But, we were able to enact a lot of these strategies to help him in this market, pull the house off the market the day it hit the market. This one would have gone for multiple offers, and we got $5,000 off of it. So it was very strategic. We do this all the time, and that's the benefit you get with going with an experienced agent versus someone that just really is a license holder.
And someone that cares. I mean, at the end of the day, we care that you get into a house that you love and that you do it in the time frame and the budget that you've allotted. And some agents can just put in an offer, but we want to make sure that we do everything possible to make sure that you get a win at the end of the day. Secondly, would be questions asked if you're a seller, asking a seller's agent. So the biggest thing is, what is their actual experience? And they can actually pull the numbers off the MLS to make sure that you know what was their average days on market in this particular neighborhood, how many homes have they sold in this particular neighborhood, and what's their average list price to sale price ratio. Those are good questions to ask. How are we going to brand and market my home? I mean, that's a huge thing in today's market, is making sure that stands out amongst the competition. And then, how am I going to get updated on communications? Do you send a weekly email? We always send a weekly email. It's one of our biggest things for our sellers, is making sure they're up to date with the communication, and the feedback is so important. And then lastly, the negotiations. That's a big thing in today's market. And what's your strategy for handling negotiations?
What's your strategy do you have a strategy for presenting the property to the market? I'm going on a listing appointment here in just an hour and a half, and I know that there's a very specific way to list that property to get multiple offers. I don't know about you, but whenever I'm selling my house, I want to be able to pick from multiple offers versus having to haggle with just one offer.
Right.
So because if you're having to haggle in the very beginning, rest assured that it's going to be not just that over the price, but also over repairs, over appraisal, over lease backs, over everything else in the process. So I think those are some great questions.
Absolutely. So I hope that was helpful for you guys to know a little bit more about, when you are interviewing and looking for an agent, all the steps that go into choosing the right person for you. So thanks for joining us, guys. As always, we're here for all of your Houston real estate needs. Please reach out to us and have a great week.